Welcome back to the Scorpio channel. My name is Laura. If you're new to my channel, I'm going to do a general message for Scorpio. Know that energy is fluid. Roles could be reversed. Just interpret the message as it best resonates with you. Also know on this channel and all my channels, I like to dive deep within the reading. So I do look at everything, but we take a lot more time to look at the spiritual blocks, the shadows, to see how they play as karmic themes, to help you understand why everything's playing out the way that it is. Not that that's really important. We tend to get stuck ruminating on that. And that is bad. And that's why it's important to know it, because once you understand, you're able to change the dynamic of the connection by just changing yourself, which is important because when you're dealing with karmics, they don't want to change. They're coming in and they usually have a lot of spiritual blockages, and it's because of their blockages that, trigger our wounds. They awaken our wounds within us. And so it's all about why you're attracting that person into your life, really more than why your person's doing what they're doing. If we can see why the person does what they do, we won't get caught up in the story and we're able to actually look and see, well, how am I contributing to the imbalances within the connection? And really, how can I shape shift the energy? If there's many different realities that play it at one time and I'm getting a karmic, can this connection work out if there's many different realities? And if it's not, why isn't it working out? And how am I contributing to the blockages? And it's not so much to manipulate the connection, but understand a lot of times if you don't heal, you're just going to go into a new relationship and the same type of karmic theme is going to play out because what we resist persists. The universe keeps bringing us what we need to heal. And what happens is that when we don't heal it, we're stuck in this perception, which is what a spiritual block is a psychological and emotional blockage, which is just this energy that's held in the body as stress, but it's what makes up your energy. So you become a magnet to that energy because it's that energy that makes you feel separate from your creator. See, you are connected to spirit and you're connected to every single person and being on the planet that has a spirit. Then it's through spirit that we're connected. It's through the energy of unconditional love. When we get out of balance, we're not in the energy of that anymore. And so the habits and behaviorisms are built on those perceptions. So we wouldn't even learn or want to learn if we didn't have a soulmate. Our soulmates make us want to learn because we have feelings for them. Love makes people do things that they normally wouldn't do. It makes them heal, right? Well, that's the whole point. All right. Anything of any importance or relevance to the channel, you know where to find it. It's in the description box. Now, I've been just deciding to pull randomly from different decks to get an underlining energy. And then let's see. Okay. Obstacles is the underlining energy. And the obstacles are, it's like I feel like this person might have been in a connection, but they're out of the connection. That's not what it is. It's childhood wounding is actually influencing this person's actions. So it's almost like the obstacles are themselves. And the obstacles are themselves is because there's actually something that this person is hiding from you, and it's that they wish that they could give you more. I feel like they got out of a connection and I feel like they don't have any money. I feel like they went through a divorce. They might have lost their business. They lost like a piece of their identity. So I'm kind of feeling like this person lost their job. They might have lost their business, but I feel like it was through like a divorce. It was through a separation, you know, um, or it was like business partners broke up, or a combination of both. But really, that this person doesn't want you to know everything that they've gone through. So what happened is they kind of gave you the silent treatment to create space. That's really what it was. It was like they didn't really want because they didn't want you up close to actually see what was going on. I feel like there was a bit of this person that, used to create a lot of illusions, but the one thing that they were really proud of was their business or like what what they created. Because I feel like this person had a very lucrative business, and it was, something that started off as very small and they grew it into like a company. And that company, they pulled in, silent partners. And I feel like something happened within their business. Like I said, where now their business is no longer their business. And so, um, they wish that you knew how grateful they are to have met you. So I feel like even though that this person didn't give you anything, they gave you the silent treatment for a long time because they were going through a divorce. And I also feel like even though they went through that and they were ready to go through that divorce, it was very emotional for them because, like I said, it was not just the ending of the marriage, but it was the ending of almost like their identity. And so the thing is, this person feels very not loved. They kind of feel like a loser. And why they feel grateful to have met you is because, hey, there's still a spiritual connection. You showed them that even though they detached from you and went silent, you didn't stop with your life. So I feel like there's a sense that you're inspiring to this person. And so the problem is that when they were going through everything, they didn't want to be transparent. They didn't, because part of it is that they didn't really know what was going to happen to them. So I feel like they knew obviously that they were going to get a divorce or a separation, but they didn't know that they were going to lose their company. They didn't realize that they were going to lose property, assets. Again, who this person used to take pride in who they are, again, their identity was based on it. They didn't know that that was gonna collapse. And so I feel like when you got too close up, they said they wanted to create space. So you might have said to this person, let's go to dinner, let's let's do something, let's create some sort of intimacy, spend time with me, and this person, like, I feel like said something like, we're not dating, you're not that important to me, or I don't really like making you kind of feel like you were a lot less important than you actually were at the time. But it was mainly because, again, they were stressed out. They didn't want you to see what was happening in their life. This person is faced with constant reminders of you. And so the thing is, this person, I feel like, obviously, if their relationship is falling apart and they're losing everything, normally the last thing that a person would want is to run back into a relationship. This is more than that. This is that this person actually admires who you are. It's like that, and I feel like it's because you're a twin flame. You're a twin flame. This person is battling inner demons right now, but they are a divine counterpart. And the thing is, this person ran away from you because they felt like they couldn't live up to your needs and expectations, even though they felt connected. They didn't treat you like that because they were going through something which you probably knew that they were getting a divorce or leaving that person. But again, they didn't realize they were going to be losing their business or losing, like, again, they're part of their identity. It's like this person is getting stripped, and it's very emotional for this person. And I feel like they're prideful. We just kind of flipped over. Is what I feel like you may be perceiving that this person is like lazy, like they're not trying, but I feel like a lot of it is they're so overstimulated because of what's happening. that they don't really know what to do. So they're kind of stuck in stupid. It's like where they're just kind of watching their life fall apart, not really putting any effort in anywhere, and so part of them too is like a little bit afraid to come back because, hey, are you going to be rejecting them? They already feel rejected because of whatever's going on in their life. And it's not so much the divorce, but I feel like, again, whoever they were partners with within their business, their company, whatever they were doing something, was not just this karmic that again is changing this person's life. It's like everybody in this person's life is affecting their life. So they already feel rejected. They're stuck in, like, I want to say stupid, like stuck in fear because when that fight, flight, freeze because their life is falling apart. And I feel like this person doesn't want to come back to you because right now because they wouldn't be able to handle the rejection because they already have that rejection. They also don't want to tell you everything that's going on in their life because, well, you might reject them because of that. And so, like, I almost feel like this person, it was unhealthy how they thought who they were because of their business. It's almost like I said, this person like had this persona of being like so strong, like an emperor energy. And it doesn't mean that were a man, but like this in control person. And really, I feel like whoever they were with, whoever ran their business with them, is stripped them of all of that. So it's like this person doesn't know what to do. And they do have unconditional love. And there's a part of this person that's like, well, wants to know whether or not you would create with them, like that, whatever you're doing within your life, I feel like. But as far as right now, this person's in a place of trauma, which again, the fear of what's going to happen to me because what they see is that everything that's in their life is pretty much this person's taking a lot of losses. There's a lot of things because of that karmic and not just the karmic, but other people. The karmic's the one that's pretty much navigating though what's going on. Yeah, this person lives in a karmic contract. And again, and this karmic has put this person in a place of disempowerment. And part of that is by, keeping them down verbally. So, and now like this person doesn't really have that much to offer. So, and then they're embarrassed about that. And they've embarrassed that they kept this connection in a state of imbalance because they were dealing with all that trauma and craziness that they didn't really want you to see. They still don't want to be 100% transparent because their self-image. It's like, again, they took pride in who they were because of, again, what they had. And now this person, like I said, is not really seeing that they're the authority. Money is an issue. This person has an unhealthy attachment to money, like they might have grown up poor. And now there's a sense that they've lost everything and they're back in that energy. And at one time they didn't have that. They were very, very successful. So they are angry. They're stressed out. This is what we see right now. It's like they're in a place of like victimhood because they actually have to conform to whatever is like those people are saying. So they feel empty. They feel empty. Now, I don't know what they did, but like I just feel like they knew that they were getting out of a connection, but they thought that it was going to be an amicable ending, and it wasn't an amicable ending. What it was is like they were taken for like everything that they got. And it's because they pulled this person, this karmic, pulled other people in that knew what was going on within the business, whatever this person's business, whatever they were doing. So what was this person doing? Like, I mean, not that that's like, I mean, you're part of that reading, this reading, but you have to say, well, what did they do, to create like such animosity to the point that like this karmic's like, I'm going to destroy you. That's what I destroyed you. And they tricked them. They tricked them somehow. So it's like, well, I feel like this person, like the relationship was over for a long time. There was like things just stayed the same for too long, where like relationships stayed stuck, where it just was not right. Um, it's just like I said, when roadblock to me is like this person, it was a relationship that ended a long time ago, but even though it had ended, you had two people that lived together and had built up animosity towards each other and did a tit for tat, tit for tat, tit for tat. And so things got out of hand where the karmic, like, in order to like deal with the cold hard truth that your person just wanted to leave, um, because things weren't working, this karmic saw it as rejection and couldn't deal with the cold, hard truth. And so the karmic, like I said, got together with a bunch of other people and did it. So I feel like the karmic did not want your person to leave. And they had pretended to get along with this person. Like you said, there was an emotional force for a long time. So there was a loyalty, a friendship between this karmic and your person. Like it was almost like a relationship that ended a long time ago. From the outside, it looked like it was a relationship, but it had ended, and your person really wanted to leave. They really wanted to go. And so there was a loyalty, however, to the karmic because of how much time they had spent together. Like for a long time they were together. They built up things together. They might have kids together. They might have, again, this karmic helped them build their business. It was a lot like that. And so now this person says, I'm leaving, and the karmic gets all pissed off and is like, well, no, you're not, and that's pretty much what it was, to the point that they created a lot of, they prepared and they were determined to just deal with whatever your person was going to do, like to make them stop, like to make them stop. But the truth of the matter is there's no sexual fulfillment within this connection. There hasn't been any intimacy. There was too much time alone, and really your person was calling it a day, like it was over, because they, just felt like it was not, again, the relationship just became more and more and more and more annoying, to the fact that it started to affect your person. And so this karmic was pissy about that. They were like, "Oh, you're gonna leave. Well, if you're gonna leave, well, you're not taking this business with you. You're not gonna take whatever it is that I helped you create," is what I'm feeling. And so again, yeah, this person that's karmic is arrogant, is someone that beat them down for a long time, and your person shut their emotions off to deal with that for a long time. And I feel like once they met you, it restored some sort of hope, some sort of faith to heal, because the relationship is divine. I don't know if you can see that. It's like is divine favored. So that's the thing. But here it is, your person is somebody that makes a lot of money. There's someone that is, very prosperous. And so like I said, this karmic, it triggered every single wound that this person had. And again, their inner child. And, they're stubborn, they're not going to let go, and they don't really care that your person wants to have love and romance somewhere else. It's like this karmic is attached. So they're like, they didn't really know how to stop your person from leaving. So what they did was they kind of destroyed this person's, they destroyed this person's business, destroyed this person's livelihood, just to, like destroyed who they are, like again, their name, their reputation, to like in order to stop them. And I feel like the karmics didn't mean to take it as far as they did, but it was the tit for tat, and it was the living together for so long with it not working and your person not giving them any emotional attention anymore, that it was truly over, that this person, like, just couldn't deal with it, just couldn't deal with it. And I feel like the more that this karmic showed who they are, the more like this person learned about, wow, and like you're deliberately delaying me. I think that this person, um, I think that your person didn't realize in the beginning what the karmic was doing, because the karmic, it didn't do it in a mean, nasty way. They just kept putting obstacles in their way so that they couldn't leave, to waste time, hoping that your person would eventually just give up. And the thing is, they haven't given up, and that is why the karmic like lost it. It's like, and they ruined it. So again, the only thing that they could do was delay them, and but the thing is, as the more and more delayed, the more and more complicated, the more that it put this person, like your person, into a spiritual quest. So it's almost like a catch 22. So even though this person like had to get out, is trying to get out and is stuck, it's like now the karmic is exposing themselves, and this person is really understanding what they want, where it's working against this karmic, because the karmic thought, well, eventually you're going to give up. And they didn't. That's why things got to the extent. It was almost like the karmic says, all right, you're going to do this, well, then I'm going to do that. The tit for tat, tit for tat. And before you know it, became so toxic, and your person's losing all these things, and where the karmic all of a sudden turned, where they thought it was going to be an amicable ending, and anything but. No, because this karmic is all about a karmic contract. They're like, they don't care. They're like, no, you're gonna stay with me, where really your person's like, no, I feel like-minded and have a telepathic connection with someone else, which pisses off that karmic. And so, like I said, there was your person's future planning, and this ESP connection that they have with you, is just again what's giving this person stamina, so that even though this karmic is putting a lot of strain on them, this person is going to be heroic and still come back to you. But this karmic is being persistent because they feel that, again, the connection between them and your person is definitely changing, and your person is is like feeling like the more time that they don't come and give to you, that you're changing. So the thing is, everything is changing and things are in flux right now. Like anything can happen because the karmic, there's a sense that this karmic is doing everything and everything to stop your person from coming towards you. So, because this person wants to create with you now, again, co-create with you, it again wants to go into some sort of partnership with you, because hey, they just lost everything, and because they've been sitting here being, confined in this codependent connection with this karmic that watches them, is keeping them hostage, and it's just growing more and more jealous by the second. So again, it's what's exposed your person to this karmic is that, oh my God, you're not really my friend. I trusted you. And what they're feeling bad because it's again the pride that they had pride. They're heartbroken, literally. And there's a part of this person that it's getting more and more and more and more and more and more and more intense, you know, and really, what's going to happen is I feel like the karmic and this person is going to have a big blow up, and this person is going to come straight up to you because they're holding themselves back. There's passion for you now, and the thing is, because this person wants a new beginning with you, and they want the passion. They feel like you're their soul tribe. This karmic is hoping that you don't move on. But this person doesn't care. They're still gonna come back. They're gonna make the adjustments that they need. They want a new life, and that new life is with you. And so that's the issue. And so right now, it's like they're almost like living their karma. And I feel like their karma is to deal with the karmic because has been a karmic connection for a long time. So whatever was built in that connection, it really couldn't stand because it wasn't built on truth. So what you're seeing is that this person is going through a transformation. And so they no longer have feelings towards the karmic, and that's really what it is. That this person, like, that's where they are right now. That's what they're going through right now. And so when we say, well, what are they going to do? Because we know that they have feelings. We know that you're coming up in their reading, they just can't like deal with you right now at the same time as deal with whatever's going on in their life. They're embarrassed. This is mortifying. You know, the spirit says, I'm not happy. Karmic behaviors, people, and situations are playing a role in what's happening with me. And it's hard for me to see a way out. That's why I'm saying this person is not coming near you because their life is being destroyed right now. Um, and they don't really want you to know everything because it's embarrassing because of reasons that I said. I watch you on social media and the internet is my way of staying close and finding out more about you. So this person, like again, is watching you, and that's how they know what you've been doing and how you've been spending time building in your business. Expand your concept of what a twin flame is. It's more than a romance. It's deep soul activation to heal in order to embody love and light. So this person, I feel like it was with a karmic for a really long time, and they were always able to pretty much do whatever they wanted to do in a relationship. And I feel like this karmic and this person, they live more like friends. They live more like friends. And the thing is, the karmic is like, you're not leaving. You're going to leave, it's going to be like this. I'm afraid this relationship is too good to be true, and I pull away in fear. So they're also living with someone that tells them every day that there's no such thing as a twin flame and that they're a piece of crap and how, you know, they're angry at them. It's been escalating for months on end. It's like two people that have can no longer live together. So, a lot of what this person fears is not real. It's just what that karmic has told them over and over and over again. But they know what they feel, you know? It's like I always felt I had a higher calling in life, and our connection brings me more clarity. So, and that's again your path going back with the twin flame always births something. I feel like I don't deserve, and it's affecting my levels of abundance and opening because I long ago shut down those parts of me that wanted love and romance and intimacy, but you make me long for those things again. So obviously, living with a karmic that if there's no love there, this person lived compartmentalized for a long time. I feel like this person lived with a karmic, had that loyalty on some things, but when it came to like a real relationship, the relationship was over a long time ago, and that's the thing. This person had to live compartmentalized because of that. And so this person, what they're realizing is that they're feeling controlled by people around them and they don't like it, is pushing them to find their power again. I feel like again they got their business or something taken away, and so now, they might still work for the business, but they're not able to like they don't own the business anymore. It's where this person was really stripped of their identity. And it's not just that karmic. That karmic brought people again, people that was connected to this person's finances, that were able to put obstacles in this person's way when it came to their money. Is that what we're seeing? And that's what this person's embarrassed about. I feel like they thought that they were doing the right thing, helping this person out, and this person, like, I feel like tricked them. Don't listen to other people, trust yourself to know the truth. So I feel like, this person had to learn to listen to themselves. And you need to listen to yourself because I'm sure when this person comes back, that karmic or is gonna, you know, say things that aren't true, like that your person wanted to stay there when they really didn't want to stay there. Like that relationship was over a long time ago. They're going through physical and emotional ascension symptoms. So again, they need space to rest. And from a higher perspective, they're releasing old energy. I feel like that's because they just went through a dark night of the soul. And a dark night of the soul happens when there's like a clean sweep, right? There's a tower moment. We just saw this person go through a tower moment. So a major one, they've lost a lot. And so because of that, usually the awakening happens after. So this person has incarnated with you to clear specific patterns from your ancestral bloodline. This person does feel bad that they hurt you in the past, and that's why, you know, they feel bad, but words have hurt them in the past, and that's why sometimes they have fear of talking, which is why they don't really want to share what's going on, but this person in separation has watched you and they've also been learning what twin flames are and it feels right to them. So it's almost like they go through this tower moment and they're rising from the ashes and going through this ascension right after. And so that now they're not in alignment anymore with that karmic. So that karmic can't stop them from moving forward. And so this person just says, I need you to trust me and believe that I am working towards a union with you. And that they're seeing signs and synchronicities with your name and they're trying to figure out what they mean. And, that they know that there's a lesson to all this. Like, why are they going through this? Why is everything, you know? And that's it. It's because they're healing and they're accessing past life wisdom. It's helping them to understand things with a new perspective, which is all like, again, this soulmate twin flame connection where here it is that this person is like with this or was with this karmic, thought that things were going to end amicably because for the longest time that karmic acted like friends, but they were never wanted that friend's position. They wanted to stay, this person's boyfriend or girlfriend, but they settled for less than what they deserved. And the thing is that a lot of animosity grew within this person. And so just the thought that they're going to go and, leave and bring their fortune and bring their, whatever it is, and begin to help you opposed to them, they made them crazy. But in that, it really did expose them because they went nuts. They went nuts where your person probably wouldn't have, you know, really ever known the truth unless this happened. See, it's almost like this karmic didn't really want it to go to the extent, but they were just trying to stop them from leaving them because they're all they could think about is you winning. And they might not know you, but they knew that they were going to go to somebody. And the thought of them losing was was really the issue for this karmic. And at the end of the day, they dug themselves in deep where I think, this type of karmic contract, if your person would have left, that karmic would have had more power to manipulate them in going back and forth, because I feel like that's happened before where because it would seem like it was an open marriage, and open marriages just don't become that, especially when one person doesn't want to be in an open marriage, but they're saying, well, I'll settle for it because, that's all that you'll give me. So, but this person has so much pent up anger and resentment, and the fact that your person was really sticking to it, well, it's like they went nuts. They went nuts. So you have to say, why did you attract this person into your life? You're a magnet of who and what comes into your life. Because right now, what you see is, well, I attracted somebody that was, saying that they were getting out of a connection and then just held back, didn't communicate anything to me about their situation. Well, at least what you see here is that that person didn't lie to you, is that that karmic lied to your person. So let's look at the inner child wounds, and the inner child wounds are magic, truth, misunderstanding, joy, feeling unworthy, and friendship. Is one thing that we never really talk about is when we have wounds from friends. We always talk about family, inner child wounds, but our friends in childhood do have the power to create wounds. So I feel like you had somebody that was around you that was like not really a friend. It was more like a frenemy. You can tell that that kid really isn't a friend. It's like friend, not really a friend. So like, and really what it was is that this person really used to strip the joy out of you and used to make you feel like they were always in competition, like you weren't as good as them. And I also feel like you kind of grew up in an environment where there was a little bit of that energy. So you've always attracted people that never valued your worth, made you feel unworthy due to, again, how you grew up. So you always had like magic. And so the irony is that even though you attracted people that, would try to treat you unworthy, it was mainly because you're always different. And they were actually jealous of you, and jealous because, hey, like you were just different. Like people that are magic, they're just different. They tend to just able to make things happen for themselves. Life seems like a little bit easier, even though it's not easier. Like you said, people tended to misunderstand you because they didn't really understand you. And that was because you didn't really understand yourself either. If you were brought up in an environment where you were made to feel unworthy, well, you checked out. It doesn't feel good to be around a parent that makes you feel like you're not worthy. And then you go out and you become friends, but your habits and behaviorisms are built on that environment with that parent. Well, you got the same thing. A person that, didn't see your worth, Because usually when we grow up in an environment that with some that makes us feel unworthy, we tend to be like the healers, the givers, the truth speakers. So we overgive, we overdo in hopes that we'll get it back. But what happens is you don't get it back. And so you not knowing your own magic, you not seeing your own worth due to, again, people in the environment making you feel unworthy. Again, being dedicated to misunderstanding you, which actually says more about those people than it does about you. This person, when they met you, I feel like they made you feel unworthy because you didn't really know everything that was going on because they don't communicate. And they don't communicate because words have hurt them in the past. Their words get twisted. So it's again, you're going to read into it. I'm going to say the wrong thing. You're going to reject me. You're going to abandon me. I can't handle that right now while I'm going through all this craziness in my life because I don't have control over my life because somebody else has control over my money and my stability. And I definitely don't want you to know about that, is what I get from this. Where the karmic is like, I don't like knows that. It's like, I'm going to hit you right in the pocketbook because that's what you care about. You care about your money. And so you can go now and be with whoever, but you're going to go poor. Where Spirit says, was all about learning to love yourself. This person couldn't be there for you. It's again that you had to learn again how to really love yourself and honor yourself. And that was not settle for less or sit there and wait for this person. This person has to get out of their karmic contract with that person. And the irony is that that karmic is making that happen, even though they don't want it to happen. But it was time that you had to go do things and be by yourself. Spirit says it was about you realizing that, you're deserving of of different opportunities. There are infinite possibilities out there. You don't have to actually pick this person. You know, it's just if you like that person, but how would you know and would you be able to really forgive them 100% if they were with that karmic the whole time? Well, the way that you can ensure you forgive them and see whether they truly, really are your twin flame is to step into your true self, your higher self, where these infinite possibilities, boundless opportunities, like come into your life. So it's more about fulfilling the promise that you have made to yourself. And this goes back to, again, loving yourself. If you were made to feel unworthy by a parent and then a friend and then this person, well, there were other people too along the way. Spirit says, because you don't know your worth. It's like, and you don't know your worth because, hey, like again, that you were made to feel unworthy. Where really Spirit's saying, again, you have limitless potential and you don't even know what that is because maybe you haven't invested. You need to grow the light that's within you, grow the light and that's inside of you because that's what's going to help guide you through dark times and keep hope alive. That's really what it is, that to make sure that your cup is full all the time. And that's also by, connecting to your tribe, finding your tribe. When you join things and you embody new ways of being, you meet people along the way. That's how, we get emotionally fulfilled. We don't get emotionally fulfilled by one friend. Would be codependent, or a relationship, just our relationship, we would be codependent. So Spirit says it was about you alchemizing that energy of feeling unworthy by loving yourself, by again becoming yourself, seeing that look, there's so many different opportunities out there for you. Why are you limiting yourself to a person that is wrapped up in another relationship? It's like, if you're going to be with this person's going to find you when they get out, and that's what they say. They're going through it. Their situation is uncomfortable. They have a little idea like, hey, maybe I can do something with you later to get themselves out of that situation. Because even though the karmic's taking all this person's money and putting obstacle and obstacle and obstacle in front of this person is watching their whole life collapse. Spirit says, you're just supposed to be out living, growing, becoming yourself. That's what you're supposed to be doing. That's really what it is, because whether you're with this person, you're not with this person, when you have boundless opportunities and limitless potential, well, you know, you move into brighter horizons, that you can actually envision a future filled with potential and opportunities. So it's up to you whether you want to be with this person or not. It's not, you don't have to be with this person. They feel as if you're their twin flame because they see the difference between you and that person. This person had a connection. That, again, that's what it would have taken for this person to get out of that karmic contract, because they were comfortable. And that's why this karmic never really thought that it would happen, and they didn't really want it to end. They just they just pushed it to the limit, like I said. And for you, it's all about ascending the old life. If you were made to feel unworthy, not good enough, go out and find, again, your true potential, find your opportunities, step into, again, these new things that's going to let you see really what your worth is and how you're valued. So you can let go of, you let go of who you thought you were to become who you truly are. And that's what God, again, our path does with our connection to God, because God works through us while we're on our path, while we are creating ourselves. So it's, again, we get to see God work its glory through the broken aspects of ourself. So wherever you felt like you were unworthy, obviously that was fragmented, that needed to be healed. And if this person's wrapped up in that situation, you got to put the energy into yourself, and that's so that you can, become who you truly are. It's not important whether you're going to be with this person or not. Their goal is to come back to you. They don't come back to you now because they don't want to tell you everything, and they also are afraid you might reject them. And they wouldn't be able to handle it because their entire life is crumbling right now. So we have to say, okay, what else should you do? Is there anything else that you can do or that you should do at this time? I'm trying to, like, I got cards everywhere. I'm sorry, but cards everywhere, and the most messiest reader ever. Okay. So we look and we're gonna pull three from this deck. This is new, and this is the empowerment deck, right? Right? This is the empowerment deck. And then we pull three from the focus deck. Three from the focus deck. No, it was like three stuck together, and I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. Okay, there we go. And then we also see how what we leave off with one more message. So the focus is that Spirit says you're in a place of learning. So learning through, like, reading, and also divination. So that what we see here in divination. So some of you might be very spiritual, into, like, reading your own cards, and that's also going to help you, like, build the connection with the higher self inside of you. That's going to help guide you, right? It's going to help guide you in these times of darkness, right? When of uncertainty is what Spirit is saying. And that you're becoming a teacher, or, a healer of some sort, you're building. So is what Spirit was saying. And then we see these, which is have compassion towards other who may see the world through a different lens and experience. So that's something that you have to, again, keep in mind and leave open the door for the highest potential outcome, meaning that anything's possible. You have to, again, realize that co-creation is with spirit and that you can actually have the best outcome. It's like, but you have to be open to it while you're on your path of being able to see again brighter horizons and walking into infinite opportunities. And Spirit just says, an open mind and the willingness to entertain new ideas repels stagnancy and lack of growth. So you will be in a place while you are like becoming yourself, learning more. So be open. Don't like you might say, oh, I don't really want to like join that club, or I don't really want to, you know, do something. And Spirit says, no, that's what you're supposed to be doing. You're supposed to be joining things because Father up in heaven doesn't just work through you through gut intuition and knowing, it works through your environment to help you become who you're supposed to become. Remember, you are ascending life, letting go of who you once were to become who you are. And that's a co-creation process. And we don't really, we're not allowed to say how we are able to have our infinite opportunities. We're only allowed to say we want infinite like opportunities. We're allowed to say what we want to do, but we're never allowed to say how long it's going to take and how it's begun, how we going to accomplish it. And the reason why is because we have to be in the moment. We have to be present. We have to, again, be putting the energy into ourselves and being on our path and going out into the world and doing everything that Spirit said in this reading pretty much, even though this person wants to come back. They're dealing with their karma right now. They can't come back, and you're not supposed to be sitting, but understand that what this person is going through, the stripping of the ego, when they come back, they're going to be a better version of themselves because life humbled them. And you are also not going to be the same person because you've gone out and you've experienced a new life which has allowed you to see yourself for who you truly are. And that's a big deal because if this person would have came in before, they wouldn't have honored you as much because you would have given this person too much time, too much energy, too much effort. And that I feel like is part of the mystery and the beauty of the twin flame relationship that a lot of the healing is done in separation, but the fact that there is this such a strong connection and that there is love and that you realize that love can't be manipulated, that you can't just get rid of it. It can't be replaced, that it makes people do things that they wouldn't normally do. And that's why this karmic is mad because they're like, they know who you are without, you saying it. It's because of how this person is, how they feel their person used to be, and that they're no longer that way towards them, that they were that way towards you, and that normally, this person would be guilted or they would have caved in by now. And the fact that they're not is what freaks the karmic out and it has made this person end the relationship. So the voice of the heart. Silence the fear in me and discover the voice of the heart. The fruit of these words guides me. I trust the song of my soul. My intuition leads me on the path of light. And I feel like that's where this person is. They are listening to the path of their heart, then that they are discovering the voice of their heart rather and that they are finally letting their intuition lead them. But that's because, hey, that karmic is exposed themselves, so they don't really have a choice. The divine fruit. As you work to improve and free yourself, you strengthen your foundations. Your intellect is light, Your heart is warm and your soul is strength. And then you nurtured by the divine sun. The fruit that you bear reflects your inner light. And I feel like this is where you are, but it's also where this person is, just in different places within your life. Like you, as you improve yourself within business and within work and within becoming yourself and healing your fragmented parts of yourself, you get to really see, the fruits that come from, that, where this person too is working to improve themselves and free themselves from that karmic connection. And as they do, they strengthen their foundation, and which is what they need to do. So I feel like they were in a very codependent relationship that was out of balance. And if you would have gotten into a connection with them now, you would have been codependent because Spirit said, well, you didn't develop enough due to certain experiences that you lived in childhood. So again, a lot of healing for the twin flame is done in separation. All right, guys, I'm going to leave that there. You let me know how you resonated. A lot of twin flames coming back lately. All right, I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.